Speech of the consul Postumius Albinus against the Bacchanalian Cult, from Book 39 of Livy's Ab Urbe Condita, translated by William Masfen Roberts.
In no meeting of the assembly has this solemn appeal to the gods been so appropriate, and, I would add, so necessary. For it reminds you that it is these gods whom your ancestors ordained that we should worship, reverence, and pray to, not those who have driven the minds of people enslaved by foul and foreign superstitions, as though by goading furies into every form of crime and every kind of lust. I am at a loss to know how far I ought to keep silence, and how far I ought to go. In what I have to say, I fear if you remain in ignorance of anything, that I may leave an opening for neglect, whilst if I disclose everything, I may create too much alarm. Whatever I say, you may be certain that it does not come up to the enormity and horror of the thing. We shall make it our business to say enough to put you on your guard. That the Bacchanalia have for some time been going on throughout Italy and are now practiced in many parts of the city, you have, I'm sure, learnt not only by report, but also by the nightly noises and yells which resound all over the city. But I do not think you know what it all means. Some of you fancy that it is a particular form of worship. Others think that it is some permissible kind of sport and dalliance. Its real nature is understood by few. As to their numbers, you would inevitably be very much alarmed if I were to say that there are many thousands of them, unless I went on to explain who and what sort of people they are. In the first place, then, women form the great majority, and this was the source of all the mischief. Then there are the males, the very counterparts of the women, committing and submitting to the foulest uncleanness, frantic and frenzied, driven out of their senses by sleepless nights, by wine, by nocturnal shouting and uproar. The conspiracy does not so far possess any strength, but its numbers are rapidly increasing day by day, and its strength is growing. Your ancestors would not have even your assembly meet in an irregular and haphazard way, but only when the standard was hoisted on the citadel, and the sentries in their array marched out, or when the tribunes had given notice of a meeting of the plebs, or the assembly had been duly convened by one of the magistrates. Whenever the people met together, there was bound to be a lawful authority to preside it. Have you any idea what these nocturnal gatherings, these promiscuous associations of men and women are? If you knew at what age those of the male sex are initiated, you would feel not only compassion for them, but shame as well. Do you consider, curates, that young men who have taken this unhallowed oath are to be made into soldiers? That after the training they have received in that shrine of obscenity they are to be entrusted with arms? Shall these men, reeking with their impurity and that of those around them, wield their swords in defense of the chastity of your wives and children? The mischief would not be serious. If they had only lost their manhood through their debauchery, the disgrace would fall mainly upon themselves, and had kept from open outrage and secret treason. Never has there been such a gigantic evil in the Commonwealth, or one which has affected greater numbers or caused more numerous crimes. Whatever instances of lust, treachery, or crime have occurred during these late years have originated, you may be perfectly certain, in that shrine of unhallowed rites. They have not yet disclosed all the criminal objects of their conspiracy. So far, their impious associations confines itself to individual crimes. It has not yet strength enough to destroy the Commonwealth, but the evil is creeping stealthily on, and growing day by day. It is already too great to limit its actions to individual citizens. It looks to be supreme in the state. Unless, curates, you take precautions, this assembly legally convened by a consul in the daylight will be confronted by another assembly, gathered together in the darkness of the night. Now they, disunited, fear you, a united assembly. But when you are dispersed to your homes and your farms, they will hold their assembly and plot their own safety and your ruin. It will then be your turn, scattered as you will be, to fear them in their united strength. You ought, therefore, every one of you, to pray that your friends may have preserved their good sense. If unbridled and maddening lust has swept anyone away into that whirlpool, you must judge him as belonging not to you, but to those whom he has joined as fellow conspirators in every kind of wickedness. I do not feel sure that even some of you may not have been misled, for there is nothing which wears a more deceptive appearance than a depraved superstition. Where crimes are sheltered under the name of religion, there is fear lest in punishing the hypocrisy of men we are doing violence to something holy which is mixed up with it. From these scruples you are delivered by numberless decisions of the pontiffs, resolutions of the senate, and responses of the augurs.
How often, in the times of your fathers and grandfathers, has the task been assigned to the magistrates of forbidding all foreign rites and ceremonies, prohibiting hedge priests and diviners from entering either the forum, the circus, or the city, seeking out and burning all books of pretended prophecies, and abolishing every sacrificial ritual except what was accordant with Roman usage. Those men were masters of all human and divine love, and they believed that nothing tended so much to destroy religion as the performance of sacrificial rites, not after the manner of our fathers, but in fashions imported from abroad. I thought I ought to tell you this beforehand, so that none of you may be distressed by fears on the score of religion, when you see us demolishing the seats of the Bacchanalia and dispersing their impious gatherings. All that we shall do will be done with the sanction of the gods and in obedience to their will. To show their displeasures at the insult offered to their majesty by these lusts and crimes, they have dragged them out of their dark hiding places into the light of day, and they have willed that they shall be exposed not to enjoy impunity, but to be punished and put an end to. The Senate has entrusted my colleague and myself with extraordinary powers for conducting an inquiry into this matter. We shall make an energetic use of them, and we have charged the subordinate magistrates with the care of the night watches throughout the city. It is only right that you should show equal energy in doing your duty in whatever position you may be placed, and whatever orders you receive, and also in making it your business to see that no danger or disturbance arise through the secret plots of the criminals.
End of the speech of the consul Postumius Albinus against the Bacchanalian cult of Book 39 of Livy's Ab Urbe Condita, translated by William Masfen Roberts.